Hey. Yes, Tim, it is the right camera.
Are we here?
We're here.
Is this working?
We're doing it. We're doing all of the things.
Did I push the right buttons?
Timmy, you look fancy this morning.
Why am I so dressed up?
You're not in a t-shirt. You don't have a hat on. You actually put product in your hair.
There's no backwards cap.
I mean, when I talk about product in my hair, it's usually Rogaine, but still.
You don't use the monkey powder? Chimp or monkey powder?
I do have some like tribal chimp or whatever it is.
Chimp.
Yeah. I got it at Sport Clips when my boys were getting a haircut. It's great.
Like when you're in a pinch, you don't want to use the actual paste, and you still want to showcase some of the curls.
I don't have any curls.
It works beautifully. Andrew, I'm dressed up for a very specific reason, which we will get into all of that and more, because yesterday was Sunday.
And this
is the morning after.
Welcome to the Morning After Ministry Show, a caffeine-fueled look back on the week and ministry that was.
It's here. It's Monday.
Timmy, why you look so
missed
fancy?
you.
Just tell us the story.
Here's the deal. I was chatting with a couple who had a desire to marry and to no longer live together out of wedlock.
I was going to say, so...
Sorry, let me finish.
I was going to say...
Out of wedlock.
Okay. So they're not moving out, because that would make no sense.
Not moving out. I do believe they want to go through the Lakeview membership process, which they know if they're currently living together and not married, that would be an issue to be a covenant member at Lakeview.
Makes sense.
They texted our buddy Riley,
okay,
who was their former pastor. Riley's now out of state pastoring.
I'm sorry. I just saw what CJ said.
Stop. Why?
Do you want my tie? It's the short sleeves. It's the short sleeve dress shirt.
I like a good short. It's hot down here.
It is.
It's humid.
But you can roll your sleeves. Check this out. Ready? I've got these
CJ,
buttons.
That's hurtful, but I appreciate the feedback. It's an untuck it shirt. I don't know of any door-to-door guys on missionary journeys with untuck it shirts on.
I'm sure a lot of them. No, because they got to be tucked in.
They have to be tucked in. This is an untuck it. So this particular couple had texted Andrew or Riley and I a picture of their marriage license.
That's
they
exciting.
went to acquire just a few days ago, and they said, "Tim, are you open to Monday morning at the cross at Lakeview? Just us, and we'll FaceTime in Riley, Pastor Riley."
That's cool.
I said I would be honored, guys. So that was it. So this morning was a 9 a.m. private wedding ceremony at the cross at Lakeview. The sun beaming behind us. Our groundskeeper even turned off the weed whacker about 10 minutes in when he realized,
when you do
I think Tim's doing a wedding right now.
When you do these guerrilla-style weddings, not the great ape, but, guerrilla as in like guerrilla warfare, just drop in,
do you know how much
do
cheaper it is to just text the pastor directly and not go through anybody else?
So much cheaper.
I didn't make them pay a dime. This is like
so much cheaper.
This is like a wedding hack.
This is the way to do it. I've secretly wanted to do this at Disney for years, where I just drop in, marry people. Like the Harambe market at Animal Kingdom.
Absolutely.
You could sneak in a 5 or 7 minute ceremony there.
It was great because they're like, we know you probably don't do this often. And I was like, you'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised.
You
would be surprised.
I am a big fan of marriage. And if you want to make things right before the eyes of God and the state.
In the state of Florida.
I am A-okay with that. I will be your guy. We'll have a couple of conversations. And we will do the thing. So that's what we did. We did the ceremony this morning, and I went straight from that to here. So I'm a little bit fancier than usual. This is typically what I would wear on a Sunday morning. This is kind of like Tim preaching
This
attire.
is typically what I would wear on a Sunday morning.
Yeah. Why would you wear that on a Monday? That's just who you are.
That's just who I am. Because you don't have dreadlocks anymore, so I have to differentiate between the two of us.
That's true. And I'm typically t-shirt, backwards hat. Andrew, it's weird because we were literally hanging out like
12 hours ago. Not 12.
It was 13.
13 hours ago. I had to go home and grade papers.
We had a little triple date. That was so
It was exciting.
Right
We went to Rusty Belly's up in Tarpon Springs.
What a great restaurant.
We went to Hella's Bakery,
which we have not done that in a while.
It's been a long time.
We squeezed into a booth.
Our wives like each other, which is a good thing. We got to demonstrate the ridiculousness of our friendship to another ministry couple.
I did. I called Andrew on the way in this morning. I said, I think they got the Tim and Andrew shtick. I mean, it's not an act. Like, this is legitimately who we are.
We genuinely mock each other and love each other.
But whenever
all day,
we're
every
meeting
day.
new people, like, we want to make sure, like, hey, this is like if you're going to be close to us, just know this is the type of relationship we have.
You might get teased a little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
That's fine. That's the way it goes.
So yesterday was Sunday.
Yes,
Kyra,
Tim had dreadlocks. Do you not have a picture on your desktop ready to pull up at any given time to drop in?
Look, Andrew, yesterday was Sunday. Tell us a little bit about... Oh, thanks, babe. That was a sweet comment from my wife. She said I'm looking good. Tell us a little bit about Safety Harbor Church Sunday, which was yesterday.
Sunday.
And Kyra, I'll work on a little something.
We had to backtrack. I think I talked about this a little bit last week. As I was getting to the sermon on Palm Sunday, somehow when I did like the master calendar for this John series that we were doing, I was convinced that I should squeeze all of John 18 and John 19 into one sermon. I have no idea why.
You felt it was necessary.
But
that's why.
Because I was getting ready for a John 1 sermon, so it was like 30 weeks down the road.
Yep.
And so we went, and if I ever do this series again, we will do what would be the Good Friday sermon on the Sunday after Easter. And so we celebrated the resurrection last week, and then yesterday we were back up on the cross. So it was...
it's weird timing.
The timing was weird. It's my fault for scheduling the way that I did when I was telling the congregation 2 weeks ago that we were doing it this way. I blamed the missionary speaker that came in February. I was like, all right,
whatever you got to do.
If he wasn't here, we would have been right on schedule. But alas, so we're wrapping up John next week, which is very exciting. We've been in...
Which, that's not John the Baptist.
No.
Because John the Baptist might have looked like this guy.
John the Baptist might have looked a lot like that guy. Is that a Woodlawn? What was that weird Christian football movie that shirt was from? I remember that
That
shirt.
was 100% a promo material that when we were youth pastors, we used to get weird stuff like that.
We used to get all kinds of good free T-shirts.
That was 42 dreadlocks, basically in their heyday. They got maybe 2 or 3 inches longer than that, but I thought that's a pretty good represent. And if I slide over, you can see the before and after. Do I look the exact same, Andy?
Tim was in a Korn cover band for a good portion of his 20s.
It was sunny.
It was...
I'm pulling the wagon of kids behind me. Like,
you know now. Yeah.
You know it was a few years ago if I'm pulling a wagon full of kids. They all walk just fine.
His neighbors used to lock their doors when he would walk by, and he would be randomly stopped, and the cop would say,
Andrew, I'm gonna
I feel like I smell marijuana in this car. Just based on what he looked like.
I need a screenshot of this current setup right now, just for
posterity's sake. You should get it.
It needs to happen. Ready, Andy?
You got to make the same face.
Hang on. Which way am I looking? This way?
You're looking that way more. Or yeah, you got it.
Got it. Wow.
But yeah, we started going through John the week after Labor Day.
CJ says, "Bless you, Stephanie, for enduring that." He's CJ. We need to hear about your Sunday. Apparently, he's just feeling.
He's got thoughts. He's got things he wants to share with us.
All sorts of thoughts.
That does not
reminds me of when I saw Benji in middle school. How dare you? How dare you?
Listen, he would come over to my house and swim in the pool and bring oatmeal shampoo with him, and just like that would be his like monthly hair wash in the chlorine water. And then
Dreadlock Tim looks like the next church planter. He's cosplaying as Jared Leto. Oh, this is just getting really good. Tim is Rage Against the Red Wagon.
He was really into POD.
I actually legitimately was.
I mean, every day is a new day.
Oh, Benja. Yes, Benjamin Welch. Yes. Okay, yep.
I thought that was Benji, as in he looked like a matted
Me too.
dog.
No, that makes more sense. Is Benjamin, is that Brian Head Welch, or is that a different Benjamin Welch? That's the only Welch I know who also had dreadlocks.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, CJ, thank you. He's admitted the truth. I didn't preach.
There it is.
Yesterday.
He is extra zesty.
He says, so I'm well rested. I would have thought you were tired with this zestiness, but no, this is
CJ.
This is CJ when he's just really feeling it.
This is the love of Love Chapel.
What's good, fam?
Right
good looking Jamaican Tim. Adam.
I just think of Paul Rudd in.
I haven't even paid you yet for this weekend, Adam, so you be careful.
You have to pay your friends?
Well, when he does work for me, I absolutely pay him.
I just think of when Paul Rudd is Hawaiian Paul Rudd and Sarah Marshall. And we have Jamaican Tim.
Tim is Jamaican me with more hair.
I love it. But so, Timmy, we're
Christian artist binge. Okay. I'm gonna look him up. Yeah.
We're wrapping up a 32-week sermon series next Sunday, and
Steph, I get it. I did listen to POD for the record before us, Steph. I was never a big Korn fan, but I did listen to POD. We are.
They are both now Christian bands.
Youth of a nation. So I did a little bit.
I feel so alive. Timmy, you did not preach this week. How many weeks deep into Exodus is Lakeview right now? And how many weeks are you going in Exodus?
Oh gosh. 15, 16 weeks into Exodus. We did the setup of the final plague. So that was Frank, beautifully, masterfully. Frank, if you're listening, top 3 sermons you've preached at Lakeview, buddy. I mean,
what are the top 2?
I'd have to go back, but I'm just like off my head. I was like, I'm like walking out of. I listen to there are very few preachers in the world that I will sit through 3 identical sermons and get something fresh out of each one. Frank Gill is one of those guys that what a gift he has been to Lakeview Church.
You're gonna miss him.
Yeah. Someone asked me yesterday.
Does he have 1 left or 2
He's
left?
got 1 more in May.
Okay.
So that there was a really bittersweet moment for me at Lakeview yesterday as I was giving Frank his usual hug after church. After he preached, I gave him a big hug and tell him what a great job he did, because that's the kind of guy that I am. I got a thought, and I was like, I'm only doing this 1 more time regular. We will still
1 more time.
There are talks of some pastors swapping.
Yeah.
That we were all going to be a part of in the coming months. So it'll still happen from time to time, but Frank Gill, as a regular communicator at Lakeview, his time is coming to an end, which is very sad for me because I so enjoy it. I originally was not going to go to all 3 services.
You don't get to sit under preaching very often.
We don't.
Yeah.
We literally don't. Like you and I, that's not a regular thing that we do. So when I do, and then it's quality, it's one thing to sit under a guest preacher and be like, thank you so much for preaching. It's another thing to sit under a guest preacher and be like, oh, I'm a little convicted.
But also, he's not a guest preacher at this point. Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So it's like,
this is so different.
Whereas if there's a guest preacher, we've talked about this all the time. It takes a lot of work to have a guest preacher. You got to get all the things set up and
Frank's
all the
not one of
systems
those
that
guys.
they don't know.
Yep.
And so with Frank,
It's funny because I was like, I know I was going to sleep in. I was going to come to the 11 o'clock with my family. But I was like, you know what? Frank's only got 1 or 2 more times. I want to put much pressure on him. So I get there at my usual early time, and we have a pre-game huddle meeting, and whoever's preaching usually leads that meeting. And Frank led it masterfully. I had to say nothing. I was just present in the room, and I'm thinking, why am I even here? Why did I think I had to be here for this? There was no reason. Frank had it under control. It was beautiful.
Nice.
Now, the reason I was going to Lakeview no matter what yesterday is because it was also Baptism Sunday.
It's a good thing.
And then I remembered I told a gentleman who said, hey, can we talk a little bit in between first and second service? I was like, I'm really glad I showed up because I had that conversation with someone. So we were able to chat baptism. His brother-in-law wanted to chat baptism, so we added him to the baptism registration Sunday morning.
Very cool.
So we had 3, and then
1 was a fairly spontaneous baptism.
Well,
not a full spontaneous.
We had 3.
Okay.
We're about to start the baptism ceremony, and a gentleman comes forward, and I mean like full Ethiopian eunuch style says, "What do I need to do to get baptized?" I'm sitting there like looking around. I'm like,
you just flipped Acts 17 and follow the script?
I said, well, tell me a little bit about Jesus. And like, he just laid it out. What Jesus had done in his life, how he wrecked him, how he changed him, how he delivered him from the Mormon church 2 months ago. I'm just like, can we get a change of clothes? And someone ran to their car, got him a change of clothes. We baptized him on the spot.
There you go.
Andy.
How cool.
That was so much fun. That was so cool. So we ended up having 4 baptisms yesterday. It was a sweet, sweet Lakeview Sunday.
I love it.
It was so cool.
I love it. I love it. So, and it's like you think you have a Sunday kind of off, and then it's like, no.
I was so tired. No. You get so like energetic and excited, and then it fades because, well,
And then you got to go to
adrenaline.
A cheerleading competition all afternoon.
Love you, Zozo, my sweet cheerleader. She's awesome. Her team's awesome.
Cheerleading, though.
I know. It's a weird
cheerleading
sport.
Awesome.
Look, my daughter is awesome.
There you go.
I will be there for every moment for her.
Listen, I was at a 6-hour-long track meet on Friday, and my kid did the long jump. I mean, the event is called the long jump. What he did was not jump very long,
The
but
picture you posted was world record.
I know.
He looked great.
I posted. I got a great.
I was like, wow, he is leaping for his life. I think I even hearted it. It was so good.
Yeah, it was. I got a good angle.
It was great.
And Melissa,
I thought maybe a chat GPT like something.
No,
and
Melissa.
Extend the angle.
Melissa texted me. She's like, "That picture was so good until I hit play on the live photo." it was
straight drop.
It was. Hang on, I'll pull this up. But it was a 6-hour-long track meet because track.
That's
and so,
how it works.
But so he did. And it was, my son goes to a Lutheran high school or Lutheran middle school, and this was the Lutheran schools in the state of Florida, the state meet.
It's a big one.
And so schools from Miami to Tallahassee,
yep.
We all meet in Ocala, and each kid was allowed to do 3 track events and 1 field event.
Mm-hmm.
And so he did 100, 200, 400. So in a 6-hour meet, he had 3 jumps, and, even in 6th grade, you run the 100 in like 18 seconds.
Yeah.
And 200, let's say 45 seconds. 400, let's say 2 minutes. So in a 6-hour meet, I drove 4 hours round trip, and he competed for a combined 7 minutes.
I was going to say it was under 10.
So
I have been part of the track thing.
Are you ready for the live photo?
It's the greatest thing ever.
There's a reason that I posted the photo and not the boomerang, because
Matt gets it. Cheerleading's crazy. You practice for hours and hours, days and days, weeks and weeks, months and months. You travel for days, weekends at a time, all for 2 minutes on a stage, 1 shot. No, it's okay, guys. Forget that and focus on the next play. You're right. And here's the real kicker, which happened again this weekend. If someone gets hurt, you are not allowed to perform your stunts, because that person was integral to whatever stunt. So we had a coach's parents meeting right before they went on and said there was a concussion 2 days ago. She did not get cleared. We're not going to win this weekend. So be positive. I'm like, what sport do you not have subs and backups and alternates?
Here's my thing.
I don't get it.
They should change the name of what...
Make it make sense.
They should change the name of what Zoe is doing, because cheerleading is leading cheers on the sidelines of another sporting event.
Correct.
This is team gymnastics / dance with a little bit
dance-nastics
with a little bit of yelling. Right?
Barely.
No, there's no go team, go fight win.
Stephanie says correction. It's 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Okay,
there you go.
But
Okay.
that it's just, the whole thing is misnomer. You need a different name for what it is. If you can't call it cheerleading if you're not cheering on something else.
Look, I'm a big fan of team sports.
I get it.
I love it. I really do. When there's
Where are you going?
I'm not going anywhere.
Okay.
I'm tracking something else.
Okay.
I just like to make sure people get there okay.
Okay.
You have friends?
I do. 3. They're great.
And whenever they arrive, I just text and say, did you get there okay?
There you go.
I'm like,
okay.
I try to be a good friend, Andrew.
I get it. I understand.
Oh, boy. Andrew, you got to be part of something very special in my life.
I've been a part of many special things in your life, Tim.
This one's really interesting, though.
This is.
I don't know that we've talked about this a lot yet.
Also, I'd like to say that I'm the catalyst for this thing happening.
No, you are.
Because
100%. There's no question here.
So Lakeview Church is in the process of leaving the Evangelical Covenant Church.
It says not dance-nastics. That sounds like a not-so-nice bar somewhere in Pasco. Granted. Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong. Oh, Matthew. He's probably well-rested today, too.
That's fantastic. Timmy, I was talking to you, I think, like in February, and Lakeview is in the process of leaving the Evangelical Covenant Church, the denomination that both of our churches are a part of.
Yep.
And Tim, it's the only church you've served at as an adult.
Correct.
And so the only ministry credential that you hold is through the Covenant Church.
It is a ministry license, which is an annually renewable deal that I've held since 2015.
Whereas I have a previous ordination, and so yes, I am licensed through the Covenant Church.
You still have a lifelong ordination.
But I have a lifelong ordination elsewhere.
Yep.
Now, in theory, the Covenant Church wants me to shred it, to which I say, only one of these is registered with the IRS, and
bingo.
I'm not willing to have that lapse and pay civilian taxes for a year.
No,
so, yeah, that's not happening. But, so I said to you, Timmy, you guys, your license is tied to you serving in a covenant church. The minute Lakeview is no longer a covenant church,
I'm not doing 9 a.m. weddings.
You are no longer Reverend Timothy Miller.
Nope.
What are you going to do? And so you reached out to...
I reached out to our elder board at Lakeview, specifically Sam, our lead elder. I informed him of the dilemma that we will be in come end of June, because that's when my ministry license expires.
And how many weddings do you have on the calendar for July and August?
Oh, I've got 4.
Yeah.
So like I there's no way I can let this lapse.
Yeah.
Like
So you can preach just fine,
Sure.
but you would have to have a notary show up at all your weddings.
Yeah, no thanks.
Florida's weird. A notary can marry you.
Florida's very odd. So there was a handful of reasons why I did not pursue ordination,
a lifelong ordination
with the Covenant Church. We can talk about those off the air. However, when this idea came up of an ordination through a local body, I mean, who better than
the local body?
It
is the local church that is ordaining you.
That called me to my current position, that has loved me, cared for me, literally paid for my education, right? Like all of the things. So Sam took this seriously. He
I really like this process.
He's not playing around. He immediately called a couple of area pastors, this guy being one of them, to put together a board of ordination.
So I got a text from Sam saying, "Hey, I got something I got to talk about with you. Give me a call when you get a chance." And I called you and was like, "Wait, am I in trouble? Why is your lead?
Am I under church discipline?
Did I
Lakeview Church?
Did I do something?" And Tim's like, "No, he's got something cool to ask you. Don't." And so there are 3 of us,
3 very godly men.
Well, there's 3 of us,
2 godly men, and then Andrew.
And we have different roles. So Frank Gill, who podcast listeners will know,
may or may not know him,
is examining Tim as a pastor / leader, because he's the only one of us that has actually served with and under Tim,
including pastoral care.
Adam Powers, the Reverend Dr. Adam Powers, is handling the theology component, because let's be real, he's the smart one of the group. And
it's gonna be a big test.
Yeah.
Literally, it's gonna be a big test.
As I told Tim, I already have the answers to the test, because Adam forwarded the whole thing to me. But since I am the one examining Tim's life and character, if he asked me to forward him said test, I would have to dock him on the life and character section.
I can't ask for the answers.
I could walk away from my laptop real quick, and you could do what you're going to do. But I still think you'll do just fine.
I have put together my study notes. I have 300 study cards on Quizlet that I've been reviewing.
There you go.
Whew, this feels like a real thing.
But yeah, it is.
I have to go through all 3 of these steps. There's an education component that I've already completed that's going to be part of. So we are trying to establish something that can be replicated for future pastors who may or may not already be on staff that want to pursue ordination. They can then follow this process. There's an education component, there's an experience component, and then there is this final component. So I've already got the first 2 checked.
Which is
I've got the
examinations. Yes,
I've got the MDiv.
I mean, you've only been on staff at Lakeview for 35 years.
Yeah.
Is it 17 years that you've been on staff?
This is year 17.
Yeah.
Right? So now this final step is with the ordination board to cover these 3 areas.
And so my ordination was through Trinity Bible Church that I served at in Willow Park, Texas, just outside of Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And loved every bit of it. And so about the time that I was wrapping up seminary, it was hey, we would like to ordain you, even though I was already, this was 2011, but I was knowing that I was moving in a few months. And they're like, we don't care. Like we've seen your ministry flourish here. We would like our name attached to you and your name attached to us. Is this a process you would like to go through? And so it was a several months long process, but it was kind of like, take this quiz, write this, not like a paper. Like I didn't need footnotes or things, but it was, I think it was a 12 or 13 page Word doc that I got sent.
Sure.
And it was fill this out, and then it turned into a 20 or 25 page Word doc when all was said and done.
What you're saying is you're not busy at all.
Yeah. But that was it. Like once I finished everything, like, all right, we're good. So I really like this process.
There are different ways the ordination can be done. There are some that would say, hey, it's a Sunday night service. We're going to lay hands and you're good to go.
Frank, we'll get a cake from Publix.
Yep. We grew up in churches like that. where a deacon would want to get ordained, it would be a Sunday night thing. They would all pray. I'm not saying that's wrong.
No, and it was usually someone's daughter was getting married or whatever it was, and so we're gonna ordain so and so. And
Andrew and I happen to be in agreement on this one.
Brother Bill is going to become Reverend Brother Bill.
We want the ordination to hold and carry a little bit more weight. So there is an educational component there. There is an experience component, and then there is this final phase of testing. That's how Lakeview's ordination process is going to work. I'm a big fan of the additional weight. I think it needs it.
The language that we've used is we don't want a rubber stamp, but we also don't want a witch trial. I've sat in denominational meetings, not in the Covenant Church, but in my previous role at a Presbyterian church, where it was like a full-on, like almost trial in front of, 60 or 70
Reverend
people.
Professor Dr. Andrew Larson. Can you give your best statement in defense of ordination, and what should ordained ministers be able to do exclusively?
Off the top of my head, I would say yes, I can give a defense because Jesus clearly ordained the disciples. Following baptism, following a time of service with him, he then ordained and sent them out 2 by 2. To do the work of ministry. And we see the same commissioning through the book of Acts whenever Paul goes on a missionary journey, where he was first commissioned with Barnabas and then again with Silas. And we can assume Titus and Timothy for the roles that they had. And
I see your ordination certificate right there. That's great.
It looks like it was bought at Family Christian and then filled out by a calligrapher in the church.
Doesn't bother me at all.
Which is why I was telling Sam, like, hey, are we going to get a graphic designer involved in this or something?
That looks great.
That said, when Sam was like, hey, we should have it like framed and matted already, you also want like a copy that you can have out in case you're ever doing a wedding in a state that requires it. So you don't want to break open your frame. So that would be my definition, that it is.
And what about
commissioned
ordained
or
ministers?
set apart?
What should they be allowed to do that maybe someone who is not ordained would not be able to do?
Weddings. And again, there is a government component to this. I think most of the weddings that we see in the New Testament, it's more of a consummation than a ceremony that that we kind of understand that part of. So I think weddings, but again, there is a government component to that. When I say by the power invested in me as a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ, that is something that I get to say as an ordained pastor. In the state of Florida, since a notary can marry you, I could say by the power invested in me by the state of Florida. Well, my authority to do weddings is not based on the state of Florida. It's as a minister of the gospel. And so it's not something that exclusively pastors can do or ordained ministers can do, but it's the power component or the authority invested.
Andrew's
in
a big
me.
power guy.
Yeah, clearly. All of this right here.
Hungry for
pure power.
Hungry for it.
I don't think you necessarily need to be ordained to preach. I think to serve in a pastoral role, you should probably have some kind of credential, because that means
I would
that
say
you were
credentialed
examined
or in process.
Yes.
Of.
But you want to be examined, whether it be by a denomination or by a group of local elders, to say that we are investing and entrusting this blanket of authority, or a mantle, if you will, to this person.
Agreed.
Those are my 2 cents.
I'm with you. Great.
So Tim has one mantle expiring.
Correct.
And will be draped in another just in time. I mean, literally just in time. Because yours expires at the end of June, and we're doing the ordination service.
End of June.
I don't know if we've announced it to Lakeview Church yet, but June 28th.
June 28th. It will be a Sunday evening. That way, you can actually be there.
That way we can still.
If we did a Sunday morning, my best friends in the world couldn't be there.
None of the people that have served as the examiners could be there.
This way, you guys can actually be there.
And
Andrew,
we can still get that cake from Publix.
It has to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe an ice cream cake. I'm a big ice cream cake fan.
I
get to pick.
We've been friends for 15 years, and we've never talked about this.
I actually I prefer cake and ice cream together, so the thought of ice cream cake is a match made in heaven for me.
I have the Dairy Queen app on my phone, and I save all of my points. Dairy Queen is underrated.
It is.
The pretzels dipped in cheese. I mean,
those are good.
The $7 meal that comes with a sundae, fantastic. I save all of my points on the Dairy Queen app from whatever I'm getting my kids, and I will only cash in points on a DQ ice cream cake.
For your birthday every year.
No, just like when I get enough points, I'm like,
randomly you bring it home.
Randomly, I'm like, I got an ice cream cake
Thursday night.
I love an ice cream cake, and I know
what we're having for lunch.
I think a Dairy Queen ice cream cake is just about the greatest dessert on the planet. Plus, when they write on it, they have the gel icing.
I know, it's the gel.
Tim, I've never been more excited about your ordination.
Andrew, we've got a few things going on in Lakeview land. We are planting a church. Shout out Cross and Crown.
Cross and Crown.
Frank texted me this past week and said, "Hey Tim," and I love how he asked permission. Like, you don't have to ask permission, Frank. Like, we've given you the green light for everything. He says, "Would it be okay if I tell people they're still allowed to join the launch team?" I said, "Frank, not only that, could you please tell people they have to? Like, we don't have room at Lakeview. More people need to go to Cross and Crown."
At this point, should you start going up to people and being like, "Hey, have you considered leaving?"
What was really sweet is, so now whenever Frank preaches, he encourages the launch team members to wear their blue Cross and Crown shirts so he can say in the sermon.
But hang on, they're blue shirts for Cross and Crown. Blue Cross is a health insurance
Blue
company.
Cross and Crown. Blue Cross Shield. Blue Cross and Crown Shield. So Frank can say in the sermon, "Hey, if you're curious, come see the table, or find a blue shirt. One of our Cross and Crown T-shirts are out there. They'd love to talk to you." I love how he does that. It's genius marketing. So we're
I have one in my car. I should go put it on right now.
We're planting a church.
Yes.
We are building a church.
You're building a building. The church is.
We're building a building.
The community of believers.
We're building a building.
Yes.
That will house the church.
That will house
the body of believers. We got a building. Well, we got permission from the county.
Oh, I was going to ask.
We got the go ahead to now get the building permit. So once we have building permit in hand, then we can put the shovel in the dirt for our new kids ministry building.
But the kids ministry building is not going to be that huge of a build. It's a modular.
Just shy of 3,000 square feet. It's going to match the hatch, so it will be a modular-esque style building, but it's going to look like Lakeview.
Yes,
roof.
But it's not going to take
it's
a year to build.
No.
Yeah.
Once we have building permit, we will be 6 weeks away from doing ministry inside said building.
That's pretty cool.
So,
and that's like a family goes away for the summer and they come back and it's done.
So we're building. We're in the process of hiring additional staff.
Always exciting.
Very exciting. That, as you know, so Andrew's been he's been very open with me because he's had to be my sounding board for I need outside Lakeview perspective sometimes. So
I get all of the resumes that Tim gets.
So he gets the resumes, he gets the phone calls. If I'm doing an interview and it's getting recorded, I'm probably sending it to Andrew to watch and give me his critique and feedback.
Literally all of them.
So we've been it is all encompassing right now, because it's a big deal, it's a big position.
It is a lot.
It's a big hire.
And so little plug for another show we have on the Practically Pastoring Network right now. I'm doing a podcast that it's already pre-recorded, but our friend Riley Lester, who was at the wedding you did this morning via FaceTime, he just took a position up in Georgia, and we did once it was apparent that he was moving on from his current role or his previous role, we started to record some conversations of what the pastoral transition process and the job hunt is like.
Yeah.
And so it's just very interesting because in one of my closest ministry friends has been doing the job hunt, and my other ministry closest friend has been doing the candidate hunt.
Which we'll do a whole nother series once it's over.
Very interesting to kind of balance these two things, to see the church side of it.
And you've actually been really involved in both.
And the individual side of both of them at the same time. So I'm pretty excited. I want to get Matt Steen from Chemistry Staffing, who has been working with Lakeview on
Matt's been great.
Get a Job podcast. That's Get a Job with Andrew and Riley on the Practically Pastoring Podcast Network. Episode 4 comes out today.
I love that. So, Andrew, Lakeview's planting, Lakeview's building, Lakeview's hiring, and Lakeview's ordaining. Yes. So I'm also in the midst of that ordination. So it's a really fun, crazy, wild ministry season.
There's a lot happening in Lakeview.
Jerry, what a question. What a guy. How far, so let's track this. My house is 12 minutes door to door from Lakeview.
Mm-hmm.
Cross and Crown is 1 mile away from my house.
Correct. So 13 minutes from
you
Lakeview.
Can be door to door, Lakeview to Cross and Crown Church. For they're not. This is not the long term.
No,
location.
they are renting in.
They're an elementary school.
Odessa
Elementary
cafetorium.
Yep. So they will be 13 minutes, and I already have heard the comments. There's nothing that you can say now that's going to be any different than what I've already heard. Yep, it's kind of close. However, if you were to come to our area of Pasco County, you would see that we are booming, safe to say. It's a little bit cheaper to live where we live, so people are venturing up our way. And what we've been saying from day one is there are not enough gospel-centered Bible-preaching churches in our area. So if we mean that, then we're going to plant more churches in our area, even if that means some of our Lakeview people go to
even though
said
they
church.
might have the option to decide between which of the two churches they want to be at.
Now, here's what we don't want to see happen, Lakeview Crossing Crown people. This is not a wake up on Sunday morning and say,
flip a coin.
Who do I feel like hearing preach today? Tim or Frank?
Tim's out of town, so I might as well go to Lakeview. Or I might
as well go to Frank.
Tim's out of town, I might as well go to Crossing
Crown.
I heard
Tim's out. Let's go to Frank.
Or Frank's on vacation, so we're going to go back to Lakeview.
Frank and I are both saying the same thing here. We will be discipling our people. That's not the idea here. That's not what we want to see happen. Jerry says 13 minutes. Oof, that's the sweet spot. Okay. People generally don't want to travel more than 20 minutes for church. Jerry, that alone is a great question / statement because Andrew and I do this all the time with our people. If you are traveling more than 20 minutes to get to Lakeview, and I know...
If you're south, come here. If you're north...
If I know of a gospel-centered Bible-preaching church that's closer, I'm going to recommend, I can't force, but I'm going to recommend you at least give them a chance before you drive right past them to get to
Especially...
Lakeview. I want you to be able to minister and do ministry in your community.
And Sunday mornings are one thing, or weekends. Like my family went to Lakeview for Good Friday because they had a Good Friday service. We didn't.
That was sweet. We never get to sit by each other in church.
And Frank was preaching. So
again, great communicator.
We're not going to get the opportunity to do that ever again. And so our family went up, and we live south and west of Lakeview. And on a Monday morning, it would be an hour and 20 minutes for me to get from my house to Lakeview, depending on if I'm like leaving at 8:30 in the morning. It's probably at somewhere between 45 minutes to an hour and 20, depending on traffic. It took us under 30 minutes on Good Friday because everybody was out. And so on Sundays, you can get to a lot of churches fairly quickly. But then what happens if you want to be part of a small group? What happens if your kids want to be in youth group? Or if you have Awana or a kids program or anything like that? The church that's 20 minutes away is going to serve your family better than the bigger church or the niche church that might be, drivable on Sunday. You're not going to be able to get fully plugged in the way that you would if you were just a little bit closer.
Totally agree. We're on the same page there. No, Jerry, I did not do the wedding on FaceTime. The witness to the wedding was via FaceTime. There were two pastors that this couple wanted to be involved in the wedding. One does not live in the state of Florida anymore. So
you can hear all about him not living in the state of Florida anymore on Get a Job with Andrew and Riley on the Practically Pastoring Podcast Network. Yeah. And also in the state of Florida, you do not need a witness to sign your marriage license.
You do not. But it's still fun to have.
You still can.
Yep. You do not need that, but absolutely.
Did you know that in Colorado, you don't need an ordained person or someone licensed to do weddings to sign your marriage license? As long as the couple signs it. So legitimately in Colorado, you can go to the courthouse, get your marriage license, and then you guys just go out into the woods and say, I do, do you, I do you, ta-da, and then you're married.
I don't get that.
Colorado's weird.
Jerry says, if I were in town, the decision between Lakeview and Crossing Crown would be excruciating. That's a very deliberate term meaning from the cross.
Yes. That's what he did.
The term invented just because of the pain Jesus went through. It's a can't-lose situation. I would agree.
I noticed that you didn't include Safety Harbor Community Church in there.
Because he's saying he lived in Trinity.
Oh, okay.
You could go 5 minutes north or 5 minutes south.
Okay.
Obviously, if he lived in Safety Harbor, there's what's great about there's a no-brainer. If I'm in Safety Harbor, I'm going to Safety Harbor Community Church.
I made breakfast casseroles yesterday, Tim.
What I tell you? There's no
There was a sausage and egg casserole and a hash brown casserole. It was our something just fell over there. I don't know what that was.
Was that the ghost of Andrew's office?
Maybe.
It's weird.
Did you know that my wife and I once bought a house that somebody took their life in the master bedroom?
Why?
And so we bought the house for
we're
undervalue.
And
so
that's how you want to lead
Texas,
with?
like on a crawl space. And so as depending on the raininess of the season, sometimes doors would just open or shut by themselves. And so the guy's name was Quasi, as in Quasimodo. And so
Quasi might be in this room right now.
I would always reference Quasi when weird things would happen in my house, and my wife did not like it very much.
It's not funny. It's
And
scary,
then
especially when you're not home.
yeah, she did not like that at all. Quasi.
Oh my gosh.
She was not a fan.
Andrew, I need some lunch. We've got to get some food. We've
I
got
think
things
it
to
is
do.
lunch o'clock.
There are so many more things I want to talk about. We just can't yet.
Well, maybe we can talk about it eventually.
Soon, though.
One of these days. Tim,
I'm excited.
I'm excited for you.
It's going to be fun.
We should do this again next Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel.
We'll be here. You should too. I miss you already. See you soon.
See you then.